Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the new Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Sugar Man, which is a character I'm sure a lot of people have no idea about, no information on at all. I'm one of those people, but we're not here to judge the character. Don't care about that. I only care about if it's a good figure or not. And I'm very happy to tell you, it is. It's one of the best Build-A-Figures we've gotten from Hasbro in at least recent history. Maybe ever? Well, no, because that would include like Fin Fang Foom and stuff like that. But either way, this one is really, really good. If I had to guess, just out of curiosity, you guys can let me know in the comment section below, though I'll probably Google it. Is this a character designed by Todd McFarlane? It looks like a character designed by Todd McFarlane, but I don't know. I didn't look it up, and I don't know anything about the character. Anyway, lots of good stuff going on here, so let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about, let's say 17.5 centimeters to the very top right here, which makes him pretty close to, and we'll just call it 7 inches. So he's not huge height-wise. Here he is next to Baby Feet over here, and you can see he's just a tiny bit taller, and this guy's probably like 6 3/4 inches, give or take. I haven't reviewed him yet, but I think that's about what he is. So not a lot of height, but definitely a lot of girth. This guy is a meatball. He is almost spherical in terms of his actual body, and he's mostly just a head with a little bit. I don't understand the anatomy here. I don't know how this could possibly work. Obviously it's not supposed to, but still, what the heck. Whoever came up with this, I'm not sure they weren't partaking in some sort of substance at the time. But regardless, it's still a really solid figure. So as far as the aesthetics go, first impressions, there's only one thing that stands out to me as being a negative, and that's how shiny his arms are. They're fairly reflective. They're pretty shiny. His legs are a little bit as well. You could just chalk that up to being sweat. If you wanted to say he was sweaty, you could do that. Although the face is a nice matte finish, so that does make him look pretty cool. Yeah, they could be a lot less shiny, and I guess you could have a little bit more shading on the arms. I think there is a touch here and there. It's kind of hard to say because of the way the plastic catches the light, but either way, his arms could use a little bit of shading. Only because, well, I mean, always, but mostly because there's so much going on here, right in the heart of it. There's a ton of paint and obviously a ton of sculpt, but there's lots of shading around the eyes, especially. That looks really good with that reddish, purplish hue. Around the face, we have this, I guess it's supposed to be like a 5 o'clock shadow because it's in the mustache and beard area, I guess. So that looks pretty good. They did a really good job painting the buttons on his suspenders? I don't know what you want to call those. Painted the buckles on here. Like, it could have more paint. You can always get more paint on most things, but they did a pretty good job. These guys are all painted. They painted his rings. It's a really clean figure. They even added shading on the back, just a little bit, but some, which helps. It's very nice. He is textured everywhere. I'm guessing that's supposed to be hair. I don't know. How do you guys feel about the sculpted hair? I'd probably rather just not have it if it's not going to be painted, but it's almost impossible to paint that and make it look good. So I'm kind of torn. I don't know how I feel about that. Let me know what you guys think about the sculpted, because it just kind of looks like he's covered in saran wrap. But I get it, so I can't really fault it. I don't know. But we also have the hair up here. Obviously sculpted and painted eyebrows and hair. All around, just tons of detail on this guy. And if you can get past the character design, I mean, I'm sure lots of people like it, but if you can get past the character design, there's a lot to like about this guy. It's very well done. It's one of my favorites, and I really couldn't care less about the character. So aesthetics, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. That's probably a little generous given the glossy arms, but I'm going to do it because the rest of it stands out. This thing's going to catch your eye on a shelf. It looks so much better than like 95% of Marvel Legends. It's just so much more appealing with just a little bit of paint and a little bit of love in the sculpt. Now, we don't normally do accessories for Build-A-Figures, but this guy does have a hammer. Not unlike Thor's, but this one says Sugar. I do wish it was painted because the plastic they used is very swirly and translucent. Only a little bit translucent, but still, you can see inside, and it looks a little weird. I would prefer not to have that, but it's still kind of cool with the swirly nature of it. So, I guess, I don't know, 5 out of 10 for accessories. He doesn't need them necessarily, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, on to the articulation. The head, the head is the whole body, so it doesn't move. You can't move the head at all. We do have 4 arms, which have 4 arms on them. Some of you are going to be like, what does that mean? you'll figure it out. So we have your standard shoulder articulation, ball hinge on all 4 of them. Oh, I want to also point out, they have different shoulders. These 2 shoulders are different than these 2 shoulders, and I appreciate that. It looks like the lower arms are about the same, not counting the hands, but I like that they gave them different shoulders. This one has a vein, this one has a vein and a lump. I like that, a little bit of variation. Not necessary, but helps. Everything like that helps. So anyway, full-on articulation for the shoulder, standard shoulder joint, nothing special there. I mean, it's good, that's fine. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, and it's the same for down here. I guess I could do it down here too. Whatever. They're essentially the same, but you get plenty of range out of there. The wrists have a swivel and a hinge. My finger is bent back a lot, but it seems to actually be sculpted that way. Is it supposed to be like that, guys? Let me know. He does have a gripping hand on both sides and the wrong type of hinge on this hand and on this hand. I mean, you could call this a gripping hand. So yeah, this hand especially should have the other kind of hinge, the vertical hinge. That blows. But otherwise the hand... Whoa, hey. Get back in there. That's odd. But they all have the same standard hinge. We do get a waist twist, which I really like. They could have definitely not done that and probably gotten away with it on this kind of an abomination of anatomy. But they did that, and I like it. I like that they did that a lot. For our hips, I mean, he's got little stump legs, but you do have your standard hip range. It's gonna not do much, but I think that's acceptable on a figure like this. So that's fine. You do have a thigh swivel in there. A single jointed knee with a swivel. You're not gonna get a whole lot going on there, but it is there. And you also have your ankle hinge with decent range and a swivel. Mostly the legs are just gonna be to get him to stand because, like I said, they're little stumps. But that's okay. It's for this figure, the articulation is perfectly sufficient. So I'll give it an 8, I guess. 9. I don't know. I can't really see where you could do much more. I don't know. Maybe if the tongue was on a ball peg or something. I'll 8 or 9, whatever. You can see that it's perfectly sufficient for this, so that's fine. The numbers are kind of arbitrary anyway. So there it is. There's the breakdowns. Let me give you my final verdict on this guy. I'm just going to put it out there. I think this is a really solid release from them, and I'm going to give it a 9. It's exceptional. Compared to most of the Build-A-Figures we get, this guy makes them look bad. Figure-wise, again, I want to be clear. Design-wise, take it or leave it, whatever, it doesn't matter. You wouldn't be buying it if you didn't like the character design, so it's kind of pointless to bring that up. But very, very strong release. If we saw effort like this from Hasbro on more figures, I don't think there would be so many detractors from the Marvel Legends line. And this is a good indication of why a lot of us got into Marvel Legends in the first place and why we're still hopeful that they can make their figures more collectible worthy rather than toy worthy as they go forward. But either way, this is an excellent release, and I think most people who are into the Marvel Legends thing are going to want to pick this up. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should do that, because I try to get videos out just about every single day. And for the days I don't, I have thousands and thousands of videos already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.